Hello and welcome to this video where we will go through the CORE scale. CORE is a logical test, but as with many things, there are various names for it. Some people refer to it as a cognitive ability test, others as an aptitude test, an intelligence test, or a problem-solving test. There are so many names. We've settled on logical test because it seems to be the most widely accepted term and the simplest way to explain what it's about. We measure against something called the G-factor theory, or G, or GMA, and GMA stands for General Mental Ability. It's a fairly old and well-researched theory that demonstrates that we have an ability that helps us think logically, recognize patterns, learn new things, and so on. This ability varies from person to person. We measure G using so-called spatial questions or matrix questions, as they're also known as. These questions consist of figures and therefore contain no written text. This ability is something we are born with and is fully developed between the ages of 20 and 25. It's not an acquired knowledge or skill that we use, rather it's what we often call the trailer of the brain, the underlying capacity that allows us to build skills and knowledge on top of it. We have different capacities for this trailer. Some people move through life with a smaller trailer, while others have large truck beds, giving them the ability to stack many different things on top of it. This ability tends to remain quite stable over time until we reach a certain age, when it starts to become more challenging for our brains. But as mentioned, for most of our lives, our cognitive ability remains fairly constant. When we say that we measure future potential, it's tied to the fact that our capacity doesn't change much over time, as we just mentioned. That's why we can confidently say that we measure future potential. Logical tests are actually the only method that reliably provides insights about the future. Other recruitment methods only look at what we've done in the past, like a resume or an interview, or what we're doing today, like in a case study. One clear advantage of CORE compared to our other logical test ACE is that CORE is a more universal test. ACE works best for complex roles, whereas CORE is more versatile and works well in a wide variety of roles. It can be used early on in the recruitment process, but you can also introduce it later in the process if that fits better. An important point today is that CORE has been reviewed and approved by DMV in Norway. So it has undergone an independent review and a certification has been issued. All candidates receive the same questions, which is a difference from ACE as well, where the test adapts based on the candidate's answer. CORE starts with the easier questions and gradually becomes more difficult. If a candidate were to take the test multiple times, they would notice that the answer options are shuffled, which is intended to make cheating more difficult. Having a time limit is also another way to make cheating more challenging. So we can say that we have a fairly AI-resistant test. When questions are text-based, they become easier for an AI such as ChatGPT or similar to handle. However, we see that AI struggles significantly more with figure-based questions. The best way to address the issue of cheating, which is actually quite rare, is to have candidates take the tests on site, for example, when meeting for an interview. Alternatively, you can have the candidate take the test while sharing their screen with you, which is feasible given that the average test time is 18 minutes. Now, regarding the scale itself, we use what's called the STEN scale, which stands for Standard 10. It's a 10-point scale that's intuitively easy to understand. It runs from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest. We will also be able to see how many questions the candidate has attempted to answer, and in most cases, candidates will have looked at all 19. If a candidate has answered very few questions, we should investigate whether they had any technical issues, and if that's the case, you can of course offer them a new test. That's everything for today. On our support page, you'll find additional useful resources. Feel free to contact us at master at +46 8 32 42 42 or support@master.se. Thank you for watching.